All right, hey VC, I'm Jamie. Welcome back. We're back with another video, and this time it is part 9 in my CD box set collection, taking a look at the long box or long book format. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Let's get right to it. I know Mazzy has shown this one before. This is Louis Armstrong, the complete Hot 5 and Hot 7 recordings. So we're starting things off with some early jazz. These are recordings from the mid to late 20s. 4 CD box set came out on Legacy in the year 2000. Okay. And there you have the 4 CDs. Now, this one has some interesting packaging, we'll say the least. The slip case is quite nice. That pops off like that, but then it's a nice bound cover, but then you have to have it like this. The CDs sit in here like this and like this, but you then have to deal with these rather kind of clumsy long pages to look at the booklet. And the booklet's great. I mean, it's got tons of great photos, lots of nice text, but very unnecessary long pages. It's a little awkward to be flipping through. Just to check it out. And the CDs sit in here. They sit in here quite nicely. I do like this little note from Sony Music that talks about the music that's contained. So it says, "Dear customer, please note you may hear some hissing in the background of these CDs. Every effort has been made to upgrade the sound quality, but it is authentic to the recordings of the 20s and 30s, which is when this music was originally produced. This sound does not reflect that there is a defect in this product, but is more of a representation of the music of this era and Lewis's recordings at the time. Please enjoy. Love, Sony Music Canada." So it's interesting they felt the need to include that. Yes, I mean, the recordings from the 20s, early 30s, yes, there's going to be maybe a little bit of hiss and scratch, and they're not exactly going to be high fidelity, but there you go, Louis Armstrong. And speaking of odd packaging, great music, but odd packaging, we've got Deep Purple, Shades of Purple, and this is 1968 to 1998, Warner Archives through Rhino. And this came out in 1999. And again, the stretching it out this way, so you have to open it up like that and then take a look at it. But, can't argue with the music. Really nice overview of Deep Purple. Can't argue with the music at all. But then, you got to flip it open like this. So then the booklet's here that comes out, and then the CDs are like that. And because of the length of this, at least with this Louis Armstrong, you can file it like that on your bookshelf if you wish. But for this, to have the spine, you've got to file it like that. So it's a little awkward. But and the booklet's okay. For Rhino, I would have expected maybe a little bit more, and given that this is Deep Purple we're talking about. But the booklet's not bad. A lot of text, but photographs okay. A lot of black and white photographs of the band. But not bad, but it could have been a better booklet overall for this Deep Purple, given the subject matter. Okay, let's move along. We've got Neil Diamond. This is performances 1970 to 2002 stages. So this is all live stuff, obviously, and this came out on Sony in 2003. So this is 5 CDs and a DVD divided into A Night in Las Vegas from 2002. Disc 1 and 2. Disc 3 is Many Stages. Disc 4, Many Stages Continuing. Disc 5 is Live Christmas, so it's a whole CD of Christmas music, which I don't know if you really need it on something like this. And then Disc 6 is On-Stage Highlights filmed live in Dublin. Lots of Neil live. Certainly nicely presented overall. It's a nice, it folds out like this. And you've got the discs here. And this one, the booklet is just simply placed in, so I'll slip that out like that. I think it's very nicely presented. So there's that. And then the booklet's not attached, just slips out like that. Nice booklet overall. Not a lot of text, a lot of pictures, but nice booklet. Can't go wrong. Okay, Neil Diamond, Stages. Here is a great box set. I really like this one. And when I was taking this off the shelf, I was thinking if Rachel doesn't have this, she should really pick this up. Produced by George Martin, 50 years in recording. I'm pretty sure Mazzy has shown this one. This is 6 CDs charting popular music over 5 decades. This is an outstanding box set, a real tribute to producer George Martin. And it's divided into Crazy Rhythms is disc one that takes a look at some of the jazz, big band stuff that George Martin produced early in his career. Disc two is called Transports of Delight, that features a lot of the comedy records that he produced, working with the goons like Peter Sellers, Spike Milligan. So lots of comedy stuff on that disc. Disc three is That Was the Decade That Was. Of course, this features Beatles songs, Billy J. Kramer. You've also got Jerry and the Pacemakers on that disc. Outstanding. And then disc four is called Goldfinger, so it's a lot of soundtrack work on that one. And then you've got disc five, which is Smiles of the Beyond. And disc six is Nice Work. So it's a lot of other working with Paul McCartney in his solo work, also working with bands like America, Cheap Trick, Stevie Wonder, Kenny Rogers, and then also some of George Martin's orchestral solo stuff as well. Outstanding tribute, nicely packaged. However, so here's all the discs, and that's a great quote from George Martin. Absolutely love that. Yeah, great quote. Well, all the discs are like that, and the booklet's like that. So, okay, let me grab the booklet. No, I can't. The booklet for this package is stapled right in, and you can't remove it. In fact, the last page of the booklet is there. So, every time you look at the booklet, you have to have this on the table with you. I just don't know why they would have done it like that. Oops, and then one of the discs fall out as we're showing it. It just seems very odd why they would have it packaged like this. Why wouldn't you just have either the booklet included, or sometimes on the end, if they want to present it like that, they could have the last page sort of inserted in it where you can then remove it and then just still have the cardboard on the end there. But this is fully attached, so you can't look at the booklet without dragging all of these along. It's very odd, and it's a shame. Again, the booklet's not huge. It's actually a particularly a thin booklet, given the subject matter of George Martin. They could have included so much more, but that is just odd the way they would do that. It's the only downside of what is really a nicely put together box set. Loving tribute to George Martin. Okay, something a little different. How about Washington Square Memoirs, The Great Urban Folk Boom, 1950 to 1970. And this is again on Rhino. This was released in 2001. And by the way, that George Martin box, when did that come out? That came out in 2001. So this came out in also 2001. And nice 3 CD set. They probably easily could have had this a 4 or 5 disc set. You know, some vintage folk, certainly spotlighting the great urban folk boom. Okay, and a nice hard booklet, and with inserts to get more information. And then the interesting way that the CDs are put in here, so each has got its own page, and then it just pops up like that. Which I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of that, because I think especially when it's cardboard, the CDs can potentially get a little scratched. I'm not a huge fan of this. Okay, and then the book. This is very much presented like a book form, so this is completely attached and bound in the book, but a really nice, very nice book that's included. With particularly this one, not a whole bunch of pictures, but a lot of text. Okay, there you have it. Folk boom. And I think we've got time for one more. How about Janis Joplin? This is a lovely 3-disc set. Again, easily could have been a 4 or 5-disc set. This, of course, spotlights Janis Joplin, and this was on Columbia. And I'm not sure when this came out. This has been certainly out for a while. It looks like 1993, I want to say. So 3 CD set. The music's great. The packaging's okay. I think they could have maybe done a little bit of a better job with this. This includes especially some of the music from the Festival Express. And this was a great Canadian project where they had a whole bunch of musicians on a train and then they played concerts across the country. And so they would stop at a place, play a concert, everybody back on the train, and then play a concert in the next province. And the musicians absolutely had just a wonderful, wonderful time with this. That was in the early 70s when that happened. So they do have some live tracks from that. And then it folds out like that and like that. And then the booklet that's included. And it's one of those, they don't have any actual like full color photos in here. They went for the kind of this artistic look, but it's okay. But overall, not a bad booklet. And of course, keeping the inserts of what you can also order through or find out through Columbia Classics and then Roots of Blues. I keep all that stuff. Okay. And Janis Joplin. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for this one. Again, I do appreciate the comments for this and been having lots of fun presenting these, and we'll chat again. Take care. Bye-bye.